After around 2 weeks of waiting, we got the third and final part of episode 70. And if I'm being honest with you, this is the best episode so far. Even though it took long, it was still worth the wait. The amount of crazy reveals is insane. However, the lore of this episode might be the reason to why this took so long, because this episode really was mind-blowing. But before we get into this analysis, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and watch this video to the very end, because you definitely don't want to miss the most crazy secrets and references in the episode. And after so many sacrifices, we finally were able to kick the shit out of that baldy scientist. But why dead agents were being shown to Plunger cameraman? What did the large TV man said? And why was there secret agent on the scientist toilet's control room? And this was the saddest episode because there have two tragic deaths here, Plunger cameraman and Dark Speaker. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I do feel really bad, but it seems like now Plunger Man will never come back, as the secret agent said, and there are deeper meanings to his words. But what about the lucky cameraman? All of this will be covered this video, so make sure to watch it till the end and subscribe the channel. Anyways, here we go. The episode starts, and we see that how Plunger cameraman opens up the door, and here Boom adds an additional scene, and we see how he looks towards a door and Skibidi noises are coming from it. But he moves ahead as he did, and here we see that a toilet is coming. But the toilet couldn't spot the Plunger cameraman and nor the Dark Speaker man. And this was all done thanks to the lucky cameraman. And Plunger Man does not believe what just happened. Maybe the lucky cameraman was being controlled by the secret, or maybe he just was the secret agent. But he gave it away later in the episode. But let's just get every single thing in order. So we see that how the Plunger cameraman opens up the door, and both the agents get inside the control room of scientist toilet. And here we see that how there is a huge display, and the secret agent is on it. It looks like that the secret agent was talking to the scientist toilet and maybe was hacking his system, so he just couldn't get away with it. Although before these guys got in, the secret agent talked to the scientist very clearly and made it very clear that blood isn't gonna survive. And firstly, he says that I will kill. And then he says this is what trust could buy, or something like that. Because it isn't just very clear, and I mean maybe now the Alliance has trusted the secret agent, or maybe the Plunger cameraman has. But the thing is that there are bigger threats waiting for us. Anyway, so the scientist toilet might have been talking since he came back, but right after the two agents get in, the Skibidi toilet that had just left attacks, but Plunger Man survives and closes the door on time. Not gonna lie, that was a close call. But scientist commands a weapon, but Plunger cameraman uses his remote to cancel the effect of the beam, but the second beam attacks, and he simply stops it too. The scientist tries to run away, but Plunger cameraman closes the door, and then scientist toilet tries to simply just disappear. But to my surprise, Plunger cameraman could even control this. And in my opinion, there's something different between the teleportation of the TV men and Skibidi toilets, because it looks like that both have different spells or things to go for the teleportation, and it's also just insane that how the scientist toilet has the control over the entire lab from just his tiny pad. Although when the scientist turned Black Titan Speaker Man was just non-stop beating him, and this clearly proves that he's racist. But this is not our topic today. So after this, a fierce battle starts between both the agents and the scientist toilet. And I'm not going to lie, this was the craziest battle yet of the episode. Just in the start, the scientist toilet tears Dark Speaker Man into pieces, and I just thought that he has died. But bro makes a crazy comeback, destroying the glasses of this baldy toilet, and seeing the opportunity Plunger cameraman strikes, and the scientist toilet starts to bleed, and here we see that how blood is coming, and we still really don't know if this is the real scientist toilet or not. But the scientist toilet uses all of his brain and thinks of his using his laser gun, and the Plunger cameraman uses his gun to defend himself, as he didn't really had anything else, so save himself. And in my opinion, this was a great move. But here we see that how the Dark Speaker Man dies by the laser of the baldy toilet, and we see that how Plunger cameraman regrets not being nice to him in the last moments of the guy. Anyways, we see that the scientist has the remote and he just uses it back to teleport. But here we see that how the large TV man arrives and he just sucks the black smoke up. We didn't really saw them using this ability ever before. but it was cool. Just then the scientist uses his laser gun on the large TV man, but Bro completely obliterates him by using his TV screen as a weapon, and the scientist's toilet just goes down the area and grabs a decoy. And here my theory of the scientist getting into a decoy came true, and I'm pretty happy about. But what about large TV man? What did he actually said to the scientist? And yeah, these really do mean a lot. But the next second, we see that how the scientist's toilet is in a big decoy and large TV man retreats with all the agents, and scientist's toilet becomes really angry, and we all know how stupid he was, so he forgets to kill Plunger Man and check behind him. Because just then the female trio and the upgraded large cameraman arrives. The large cameraman distracts the baldy toilet while the female trio try to kill him. And here we see that how this guy comes out of this decoy bleeding, probably because of those katanas that speaker woman had. We didn't really got to see them in action, but at least they were used. Now we see that how the scientist tries to escape upwards. But what happens here is just crazy, because we see the three Titans here, and Titan cameraman grabs this little creep and burns his face to turn him black. And I think you may have guessed by now that why he did that. Anyways, the scientist then gets past it on Titan TV Man, and he just crumbles his neck and passes up to Speaker Man. But what Speaker Man did was the most craziest, because Blood just proved that he's racist and just completely destroys the scientist's toilet. But the crazy scene comes after this because the scientist's toilet dies, and Plunger Man goes to meet his buddy for the last time, and his speaker glows for the last time. But then something crazy happens, because just then we see the lucky cameraman and he just fades away, and we see that how the two twins are meeting and how their camera lights glow green, and the Plunger Man gets teleported right into the realm of the secret agent. And here we see that how on his table there's a speaker, a camera, and a TV head. And it kind of hints that he was the one who created these races, and he thanks Plunger Cameraman, and we see that how he tells us by showing a picture of the Astro toilet that there are bigger threats. And it means that Astro toilets really are a bigger threat than the scientist toilet and G-Man. This ends, and we see that how the secret agent says to Plunger Man that. And then he tells him that he didn't survive. And this was probably the saddest episode.